Hey everyone, and welcome! Today, we're going to sharpen one of the most powerful tools in your entire language kit, comparison. It's how we make our descriptions more vivid, our arguments more convincing, and, our choices crystal clear.
Think about it. Every single day, you're running into choices just like these. Which coffee is better? Which phone is faster? We're constantly comparing things. Nailing the skill isn't just about sounding smart. It's about making better, more competent decisions in your life.
And the best part? There are some really clear, really simple rules to help you do it with total confidence. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to break down those rules so you can become a master of comparison. Okay, let's dive right in. At the very heart of all comparisons are what we call the 3 degrees. The easiest way to think about them is like 3 different levels of intensity. So first up, we've got the positive degree. This is our starting point, our ground floor. It's just the simple, basic adjective describing one single thing. There's no comparison happening at all. For example, the dog is strong. That's it. Simple. Next, we level up to the comparative degree. Now we're bringing a second thing into the picture. This form is used specifically when you're comparing 2 and only 2 things. So now it's, the lion is stronger than the dog. You see that direct head-to-head comparison? And for the final level, we have the superlative degree. This is what you use when you're comparing a whole group of things, 3 or more, and you want to find the one that's at the absolute top of the scale. For instance, the elephant is the strongest animal. He's the champion of the group. And this table really just lays it all out perfectly. Positive is the base, your starting point. The car is fast. Comparative puts 2 things head-to-head. My car is faster than yours. And superlative finds the winner of the whole group. That is the fastest car. See, it's a really simple, logical progression.
All right, so now that we've got the foundation down, let's start building our toolkit. The big question is, how do we actually form these different degrees? Well, it's probably easier than you think.
Okay, rule number 1, and this is the big one for short, punchy, one-syllable words. All you gotta do is add for the comparative and est for the superlative. It's really that easy. Let's just run through some examples. Tall becomes taller, then tallest. Fast becomes faster, then fastest. Small becomes smaller, smallest. You hear that rhythm? Simple and super effective. Okay, our next tool is for any word that ends with the letter Y. The rule here is also really straightforward. You just change that Y to an I before you add on your ER or EST ending. So, happy turns into happier and happiest. Easy becomes easier and easiest. And heavy becomes heavier and heaviest. Again, once you know the rule, it just becomes second nature. Okay, so that all makes sense for shorter words. But what happens when you've got a longer, more complicated word, like intelligent? Trying to say intelligenter just sounds wrong, doesn't it? Well, that's because it is. There's a totally different tool for that. So for those longer words, we're talking 2 or more syllables, like beautiful or difficult. We don't mess with the ending at all. Instead, we just pop the word more or most right there in front of it. So a painting isn't beautifuler, no way. It's more beautiful. And a test isn't the difficultest, it's the most difficult. This rule is what keeps our language sounding smooth and, not so clumsy. Now, every language has its quirks, right? And English has plenty. So, you ready for a few curveballs? Let's talk about the words that love to break the rules and a couple of really common mistakes that you'll want to avoid.
Okay, these words are really interesting because, honestly, they don't follow any of the rules we just talked about. They just transform. Good doesn't become gooder, it becomes better and then best. Bad becomes worse and worst. These are total rule breakers, and since there's some of the most common words we use, you pretty much just have to memorize them.
All right, here is a mistake I hear all the time. It's called the double comparison. You can't use more and the ER ending together. It's one or the other. Since smart is a short word, all it needs is that ER. So it's just, he is smarter than her, period. And it's the exact same deal with superlatives. You'd never say, she is the most tallest. Nope. You just say, she is the tallest. Remember the rule. You have to pick one. It's either the ending or the word most, but never, ever both. Okay, you're ready to take this to the next level? Let's get into a master technique.
changing the degree of a sentence without actually changing its meaning. This is where you can really show that you've got this stuff down cold. Let's walk through this. We can start with the superlative. Iron is the most useful metal. Now, to change that to the comparative, we can say, iron is more useful than any other metal. And to get it all the way back to the positive, we just flip it. No other metal is as useful as iron. Did you see that? 3 totally different sentences, but the core idea is exactly the same. That is mastery. Phew, we have covered a lot of ground, from the absolute basics to some pretty advanced stuff. So let's wrap this all up and boil it down to the key takeaways you need to compare with confidence every single time.
So look, here's what it all comes down to. Just remember the 3 degrees. Positive is for 1, comparative is for 2, and superlative is for a whole group. And the rules for making them? Short words get and est. Long words get more and most. If you can remember that, you've got 90% of it right there.
At the end of the day, these rules aren't just about passing a grammar test. They're about clarity. They're about impact. They give you the power to be more precise and more persuasive. So the real question is, how will you use this to make your words the strongest, the clearest, and the most effective they can possibly be?